Okay, thanks, Milos.
Great. Perfect. Sorry. So we were, when I was showing this, maybe you didn't saw it. So this is the website with the book, the one I mentioned in the beginning. And here you have the setup I recommended a few seconds ago. This is the one so you can visualize it. It's Nikon D750 with Tokina 100 Macro Pro and twin flash mic. Adam, I would be really more than happy if you can stay online with us a little bit to check if everything is working, because I'm not seeing the messages.
Yeah, don't worry, I'll tell you.
If there are any questions or messages, so you can just jump in and let me know if we lose the image or something, I don't know.
I will, don't worry.
Great. So photography settings about dental photography. You can also check my online course. It's also on dentalpromaster.com. You can see not only the theoretical part, the one I will present you today shortly, but you can also see the hands-on part. So you can train yourself as many times as you want to get your perfect shots. Now the settings, I have a very simple way to use the camera. I put all the settings in the camera and I never touch them. I use the camera in full manual mode. And as you can see in the screen, we have center weighted metering, we have ISO 100, we have exposure time 125, white balance on flash, autofocus single. I use JPEG format most of the time, 99% of the time I use JPEG only. Standard RGB as it comes from the factory, and then a standard fine detail setting in the body. So standard is for Nikon and fine detail it's for Canon users. Now, when we talk about intraoral photos, usually I use f/22, 25 more or less. This is about the opening of the diaphragm, for example. If we have f/22, let's say this is the opening of the diaphragm, and if the picture is too bright, what I do, I just close the diaphragm to 25, or I close it even more to 29. That means that if we have smaller diaphragm, we have more depth of the field, but we have less light. Yeah, so we play with this diaphragm to get more depth of the field or to get more or less light. So it depends. When you take your shot and you use the f/22 for intraoral shot and you see it's very bright, what you do? You just close to f/29. That means from 22 becomes 29. Less light will go. Your picture will be a little bit darker. So this is not only for intraoral, but this is for all the types of photos that I do. So just remember, for intraoral f/22, 25. Then close-up photos, depending on the background you want to get. If you are shooting on white background, you will have to use f/16, 18. If you shoot on background, you will have to use f/20, 22. But all other settings, as you can see, they are never changed. They are always the same. For portraits, most of the time I'm using f/9, and then I'm shooting them on white background. If I would shoot them on black background, probably I would use f/18, 22. So this is for white background, and you can see that's the picture how it comes directly from the camera without editing. I don't touch the pictures. Usually after shooting, I leave them as they come from the camera. I just use a little bit Keynote to crop the pictures and so on. Now, when we talk about laboratory photos, as you can see, the settings are kind of similar to intraoral. If I'm shooting the white background, it's going to be f/18, 20. If it's going to be black background, 22, 25, more or less. Cross-polarization, it's about this kind of photos when you are cutting the slice from the teeth and you want to create these shots. They're more artistic and they are good looking. Then I would go for f/29, 32, more or less. Now here you can take a snapshot, or I don't know how do you call it, and you can save this picture, yeah, because these are most of the settings I'm using. Also on our website on dentalpromaster.com, you can check the brochure. Now we have the older one, but the new one will come these days, and you have all these main settings for your camera, and it's totally free, so everybody will be able to download the PDF. And you can see the recommendations for the bodies, for the lenses, for the lights, and of course the main settings and accessories that you can use for dental photography. The editing, it's very simple to understand. I don't like to do too much editing. I don't even have Photoshop on my computer. I don't use Lightroom or any kind of editing software yet. Most of the pictures I download them from the camera to my computer, and then in Keynote, I just crop them, resize them, rotate them, and that's most of the things I'm doing in Keynote. You can scan the QR code here. Sorry, I can go back. And you can see the online Keynote course is the course that I'm highly recommending to the lecturers, to the people that really want to go next level with their presentations if they are doing education. Also, it's recommended for the social media, so you can edit your posts and you can write articles, publish articles, and so on. Dentroom, it's on the right side. It's a software that I'm developing right now, and it's under construction. It's going to be ready in probably a few weeks, maybe 2 or 3 weeks. And then you will be able to do simple stuff like skin smoothing, sharpening, vibrancy, saturation, retouch, just with the brush exactly where you think you need that editing. It's not with layers. It's not like Photoshop. It's not complicated to use. Actually, it's a kids app that I developed because I want that to be super easy to use by every user, every dental user, even if it's dentist or dental technician. And you can do it in less than 10 seconds to edit an entire photo. So that's the beauty of this app. Now, let's say you have the main settings, you know a little bit of about the recommendations that I told you about the camera and the lens and the light. All the pictures that you see here, they're mainly done with my studio lights. You saw the setup upstairs, the lab that I own, and the studio. And that's the place where I take most of my shots. I'm using the studio lights for intraoral, and for portraits and laboratory and so on. More than that, we are developing now, and probably this or next week will be ready also the online video course about videography, how to make the perfect videos with your mobile phone. Basically, this is something that everyone has in the pocket. Everybody has a mobile phone, and most of the dentists are using the iPhones. So basically, this course is focused on how to create amazing videos with your iPhone. And you will be able to check it on this QR code. What kind of videos? This kind of videos where you can promote your business online or social media, on YouTube, on Instagram. And we show tips and tricks how you can create Insta stories, how you can create perfect videos for Instagram, how you can create perfect videos for YouTube and for Facebook. Now, why are we doing all these things? It's very easy because once we get to be known by people, we are doing very good social media, we are doing very good, we are having a very good website, we are everywhere on the screen, let's say. The patients are becoming our fans, and that's really important that once we do these things, they will come to our dental office and they will not argue about the price, about the time, about anything, because everything they see they like. That means that they trust us. They love what they see. They want to be one of these patients that we treat, that we show in our photos, in our posts. Also, what I highly recommend to you guys is to go live. Now we have a lot of time on our hands, and we can experiment with these live sessions. But I know a dentist that is doing this for the last 3 years. He goes every week, once per week, live with his patients, and he's answering questions. He has a topic every week, another topic, or every 2 weeks, another topic. And they are discussing, let's say, this week about implants, another week about anesthesia and pregnancy, another week about ortho, and so on. So basically, he became extremely popular in our city, and he went from a small dental office with only 2 dental chairs to a big dental clinic with more than 8 dental units and a huge building and everything he owns. So that's in a matter of less than 3-4 years, just doing this live shows on his social media. It's very important that you will create a Facebook account only for the patients, not for dentists. Yeah, so that way you can promote only to your target people. Now, what we have to understand is that the patients are modern consumers. They are looking for a great experience. So basically, everything that we are doing, we have to create for them and to make them feel really good and to trust us. So they don't want to go to a dental office and open the mouth and you tell them, okay, this is $5,000 and so on, and you have to pay, and then we start doing the, I don't know, veneers, whatever. Basically, the same are we. When we buy our phone, we want to make sure that we are going to have a better experience than with the previous model. We want to have better pictures with the phone. We want to have better apps with the phone. You want this phone you can, I don't know, submerge in the water. The same is also with patients. Before they earn less money and they went to a cheaper dentist. Now they earn more money. They want to go to a better dentist. So they are looking for a better experience. The same also when you go and buy a car. Yeah, you're selling the old one and you want the new one. Okay, let me show you how my training center looks like. Although you already saw it live. Yeah, this is the video that we used to promote our training center. Our training center is called Amplitude Training Center. The reason we choose this name is because all the names like number one dental, top dental, perfect dental, best dental, royal dental, and so on, they were taken. So I took what was left. Amplitude Training Center. That's the name. And I created this training center because I wanted the people that come to our courses here, they will have a great experience, not only by the content of the lecture, not by visual content they get during the course, hands-on, live, and so on, but also the environment they are in. Everything has to be perfect. So I created this place to look like this, especially for the participants. The same is also for my lab. I was thinking, dentist is coming with the patient for taking the shade, for the color, and so on, or for trying. It has to look beautiful and clean, not small, dirty, and dark, and so on. So basically, it has to be, you have to think everything to create a great experiences, yeah? You have to create experiences for others, for your customers. Now, to get out of your comfort zone, yeah, and switch from analog to digital, you think it's difficult, but I will try to show you in few easy steps how you can do that without having a headache. And you know that already patients are very good friends with Dr. Google, or they are searching everything that is new in dentistry. Not only we are searching that, also patients, and then they want to go to a contemporary dentist, to one that already adopted the new ways, the new workflows. So you have to be ready to switch to full digital workflows, which I promise they will change your life completely. So let's talk a little bit about full digital workflow, and you can see also info about this one on our website, www.dentalpromaster.com. Here you can find the QR code also for two online courses. One is for the lab technicians and the other one is for dentists. Also new materials we are adding as we get them, and you will get a lot of info about many different things to help you switch to full digital workflow. Now, how can full digital workflow help you minimize the cross-contamination in dentistry? It's very easy. If you have an intraoral scanner, if you are having a face scanner and a chairside printer, you can cut off the, let's say, physical relation with your lab. Yeah, so you can do everything in-house to plan the case, for example, and then the lab can just finalize the case for you. So planning can be done indoor in your dental office without having any physical contact with the lab technicians. For example, step one, how to use this workflow. It's easy. You can replace your classic photo documentation. And you know that I'm teaching dental photography for 7 years. And now I'm saying, okay, quit the DSLR in the office. Of course, I say quit because for standard photo documentation, because you have to have legal photos before and after for every patient, that's usually the way to work. You can quit using the DSLR camera. You cannot sterilize it, you cannot clean it very well, and it's always a source of cross-contamination. So basically what I'm saying is that you can use the intraoral scanner and the face scanner to document your cases with STL or PLI files. That means that you will have a 360 degrees intraoral impressions that you can rotate to any angle. You can do print screens. The same is with the face scan, and you can sterilize the intraoral scan. You can sterilize the face scan. You can clean them with wipes, antibacterial, antivirus wipes, and so on. So basically, the safety for patient, it's improved. And you will have to switch to digital dentistry anyway. So you will use this not only for photo documentation, but you will use this also as a part of the workflow, because you need to give your technician the intraoral impression, and you need to give your technician also the face scan. The same is to replace the classic work digital one. What's the improvement here and what is the winning part here? It's that you don't have any contact with technician. Your technician can be in another city, in another country, which is good. And then it doesn't stop your work. So basically, you can send him intraoral impressions and face scans, and he can send you the final work very easy. Precise information for facially guided restorations, because the face scan is involved, and the face scan you will have to understand. Today in my lecture, I will try to explain more about this, is that face scanner is it's not just giving you an image, a 3D in the face of the patient. Face scanner, if used properly, can become a digital face bow. And the way I'm using the AFT face scanner is the way that it becomes a very powerful planning tool that helps me program my virtual articulator with the measurements from the real patient, so not medium values. Yeah, and then you can also have a very good improved communication in the team. I will try to explain you what's all about in the following minutes. So regarding the classic workflow, I quit 2 years ago, and since then I never looked back. Of course, I'm trying to apply everything I learned from analog world and to import it into digital one, but using only digital tools. So I will not go back to what I've been doing before. Sending the final work to dentists from the lab perspective, you have to do few steps. First of all, to have a proper box to deliver them, to make sure that they arrive safe, not broken, not cracked, and so on. We are having this kind of box that we send all the printed models to the dentist, and a special membrane box that can help our restoration arrive very safe in the office. Of course, we make sure that they are sterile, cleaned, and disinfected, so the dentists don't have to worry about cross-contamination or getting any viruses from our side, let's say. So there are many, many steps that we have to go through. First of all is that we have to go to basically gloves, masks, goggles, and so on, just to show respect to our patient and to avoid contamination. Yeah. Okay, I will skip this video so I can give you a little bit more information. Let's talk about the toys. Okay, so what a dentist need and what a technician need and so on. First of all, as a dentist, definitely to start with digital dentistry, you need an intraoral scanner and a face scanner, because without these two, you cannot have a precise, predictable workflow. We need to have a precise impression, and we have to have a facially guided restoration. So we need to have these two informations. Then, of course, if you are doing full mouth rehabs or implant supported restoration, you have to have a CBCT. If you want to go and develop a little bit further and you want to have more autonomy compared to your lab, you will have a chairside printer or a chairside mill, so you can finalize some of the works by yourself in the dental office, and that's super easy, I promise. Of course, in collaboration with your lab, I will explain you how in the next minutes. Now, when we talk about communication tools, there are many communication tools. There is a DSD app by Christian Coachman, the one that everybody knows already, and many are using it as a selling tool to create the motivational virtual mock-up, so the patient can be, let's say, motivated to go for the next step. The same is Smile Cloud. It's a designing app that it's cloud-based, and you can access it on www.smilecloud.com. and you can check it out. It's absolutely amazing, fantastic, and so easy to use. And it's more or less, I mean, it's extremely powerful tool, and you can add a lot of people to work on the same case and to get different opinions about how to solution the case. Then our photo protocols, team weavers, and the most important one, and the one that I think it's Exocad WebView, because this one allows me to send the information, the project, to the dentist, and he can have an overview of what we planned. And I will show you exactly what I mean with Exocad WebView in a few minutes. And of course, laboratory equipment. Here, I'm highly recommending top milling machines, top printers, because we have to make top cases. We want to be very precise, and we cannot afford to lose dentists, and we want to make the best of the best of the best. So basically, I'm recommending a ShareUp printer. ShareUp printer 30 is the one I'm using in the lab upstairs. And as a chairside printer, the one that I showed you in the beginning is the Asiga printer UV Max. It's a very small, compact printer that you can have it in your office, and it's not expensive, which is very important and super precise, by the way. Now, coming back to the intraoral scanners, many of you maybe don't have it already, or you are thinking about getting one. I'm highly recommending to go for Medit i500. I'm using it since beginning. Of course, I'm working with Trios for more than 6 years, and I had very good results. It's one of the best scanners out there, but Medit i500, it's actually the best scanner on the market right now, if you ask me. I am a very curious person, so I try to do a lot of difficult cases, and I want to see and find the limit of this intraoral scanner, and I couldn't find any limitation till now. The only thing I can say is that you should go for it. It's fast and precise, no annual fees. It's getting free updates, PLI scans, because PLI format, it's replacing the STL format, which is outdated. In digital dentistry, I'm using PLI for more than 1.5 years since Medit has it, and Trios just recently came with PLI files, which it's a little bit too late, let's say. Scanning tips are very cheap, so if you are breaking them or destroying them or I don't know, whatever, you can buy them very, very cheap. It's user-friendly. Even my kid can do the scannings, and of course, the price unbeatable. When I was saying about STL, you can take a look at this picture on the right side where you have the big polygons, the big triangles. That's STL format, and the small, tiny ones, it's PLI. So with PLI, you will get more detail, more texture, more sharper elements in your scan. So basically, it's much better than classic STL. And of course, you will get the scan, which is very important. Medit i500 has many, many different features. One of them is to mark the margins of your preps. So basically, if you want your lab to have 0 mistakes when it comes to the crown adaptation, where your margins are, I'm not talking about this case because here obviously everybody can see the margins, but when you have a feather edge prep or under the gums prep and you don't see clearly where the margin is, or there is no margin, but you want your technicians to finish the crown in a specific area, then you can mark these margins and they will be automatically imported into Exocad software directly. So the technician don't have even to worry about where his margins will be because you already point them out. Now, also about communication. Another feature is that you can automatically add the base to your models, and you can print it if you have a chairside printer right away. So basically 10 minutes or 5 minutes intraoral scan, and then another half an hour, 40 minutes to print out this model. So you can communicate with your patient regarding his intraoral situation. You can also document the cases. I was saying that previously. So you can avoid using the DSLR camera, and basically you can document the full case, upper, lower, lateral views, all the views possible, and that's a very good feature. Direct abutment identification system. This is when you are doing implants and you want to send your impression to your lab technician. He will know exactly which components, which implant system you are using and which components, which multi-unit and everything. So basically, you don't even have to communicate anymore with your lab. He will get all the information right away from the scanner. To see this kind of tutorial videos and how you can use the Medit to full power, I'm highly recommending you guys to use the website on the right side, www.cadray.com. Yeah, cadray.com. This is the most advanced and intelligent guy I know when it comes to intraoral scanning, and he's the guy that improved and created the workflows with this intraoral scanner and take them to another level. Now, we can talk also about artificial intelligence, because this is the biggest selling point for this intraoral scanner. It's when we want to create an all-on-4, all-on-6, and we want to use the intraoral scanner for this. Of course, everybody is afraid to do it, and I was afraid too in the beginning, but now I'm doing all my cases using Medit i500 because it has a digital verification jig. Basically, you don't have to create an analog verification jig to check if your impression is correct. Here you have an automated digital verification jig, plus you have the reliability map, so you can check if your scan is good quality or not. If it's green, it's good. If it's red, it's bad. So basically, if your impression looks like this in the screen, it means it's super, super good. So you can go next and send it to your lab tech. Also, they improved the algorithm when scanning, and they removed the distortion for the full arches. And I'm saying this because I know I tried more than 8 or 9 full mouth rehabs recently, and we did all-on-4, all-on-6, and we did full mouth rehabs, like different cases and increasing vertical dimension of occlusion, and we had almost zero problem. We talk about high contact points, we talk about different contact points or whatever, and we didn't have any kind of problems. Now, when it comes about a recommendation for the laptop, for your scanner, and for your face scanner, and for your exocad, and for your whatever you want to use it for, definitely I would go for nothing less than this. So Dell Alienware, it's the Dell computer brand Alienware. It's the most optimized laptop on the market for Windows operating system. So basically it will give you no crashes, no blue screens, and it's very reliable, so you can count on it. It has a lot of muscles, a lot of power, so basically no matter how many programs you run on it, it will still work. It's specially designed for multitasking, and I would not recommend you to go anything less than this. So GTX, it's already an old version of the graphic card, which maybe you don't even find them in the stores, and then everything from here and up. Just find something from Dell Alienware newer generations like RTX 1070 or 1080. Then for designing, I'm using this 3D connection mouse, but this is not for dentists. I'm using, this is when I'm scanning the patients. I'm using these virtual reality glasses from Epson. Usually, if they are with a logo on them saying dental, they are 2,000. If you buy them directly from Amazon, they are about 800. So it makes no sense to pay for dental glasses because they are exactly the same. And you just plug and play them into your HDMI port, and you can start using them with your intraoral scanner. Basically, what it provides is that you scan the patient, and then you have to look around for the screen of the computer, and you don't want to do that. So basically, having these glasses, you can keep continuing scanning the patient and see projection in front of you, exactly what is on the screen in front of you. So you see the scanning process, and you can improve it if it's necessary. Then a very stable cart for having your laptop, intraoral scanner, and face scanner. This one I designed by myself, and we are producing it here and selling them worldwide, so you can check it on dentalpromaster.com. Also, when switching to digital and you have an intraoral scanner, it doesn't make you a better dentist. Basically, if you were bad at taking analog impressions, you will be bad at taking digital ones too. What you have to have in mind is that you need to put cord 000 in sulcus, and then DMG retraction for 4 minutes and cleaning it after surface becomes dry. So what I'm saying is that we really need to see the margins of the prep. Even if it's 02, 03, like I have to have my preps done, we need to see them. very well. Yeah, so that's why we have to use this technique. Also, in the beginning, I was using a lot Optragate and ScanMate, and this is helping you to understand, to scan a little bit better, to keep the cheeks and the lips away, and also the tongues with ScanMate. So these are the tools I'm using for every single patient. Now we arrived to the face scanner, to the one I was saying so much about it. This was the missing link, and this is the one that changed my opinion about digital dentistry. Yeah. So I was saying it's not just a face scanner. It doesn't provide you just with the face of the patient. It's much more than that. It comes with two scan bodies, scan body head and scan body mouth, which are actually helping you transfer the position of the maxilla of the real patient into our virtual patient. So basically, when we do the restoration on digital, we are going to have exactly the same position of maxilla. So we can program the articulator. After we measure the Bennett angle with these scan bodies, we measure the Bennett angle and we can program our virtual articulator with the values of the patient. So let me continue. Here we have different face scans where you can see the Frankfurt plan, Kemper plan, median line, Condylion guide, and you can measure the Bennett angles. For this, we have an online course for the lab techs where they can actually check the course, and they can do it themselves very easy if they have a digital dentist. Jaw tracking systems I don't use actually. Yeah, these are too expensive, experimental, and not reliable yet. Not every dentist can afford them. So we try to work with ProSystem, yeah, with this one. But the thing is, it's a little bit expensive for normal dentists, and it takes too much time. And I realized that using the face scanner and the intraoral scanner, I don't need anything else. It gives me highly predictable results, more than 99% success. Also, what we use Autodesk Mesh Mixer, and this is the software that comes free. You can download it automatically from online. You just Google it. And we use this one to get the bite of the patient when we have full mouth rehabs. For example, here we use the CBCT. We send the patient with a splint for CBCT, and then we transfer the intraoral impression and we overlay them on the CBCT. So that's how we got the bite. There are a lot of good points about Exocad. It's user-friendly, and it has a huge library with different shapes. So basically, you can create a very large variety of smiles. It has a virtual articulator, and it gives you very predictable restorations. We are using it with every single patient. Also, from family of Exocad comes Exocad WebView. Here you can see on the right side the video. Basically, this is what the dentist will get for every single patient. He sent me the intraoral scan, face scan, and we send back this info where he can zoom in, zoom out, play with the layers, make transparent skin, make transparent the CBCT, make transparent the design, so he can see how much we went on top of the natural teeth and so on. And he can approve right away if he likes everything that he sees on the screen. Basically, this is the ultimate tool for communication between the technician and the dentist. What else we got here? Let's see. Yeah, we were saying something about the chairside printers. This is the one I'm highly recommending to every dentist to have in the office. For example, imagine you are training a dental assistant to do the face scans and the intraoral scans for selling new cases. Basically, the patient comes, you don't have to prep, you don't have nothing to do. The assistant will just take an intraoral scan of initial situation, a face scan, and then send to the lab. Lab will create a design for a mock-up, for a motivational mock-up, and send back the STL file to the office, where you can print it right away. Basically, in the same day, you can have your restoration, the motivation, and you can try it with the patient. If the patient likes it, step 2, printing the full model, doing the prep through the mockup, and sending the final impression to the lab. He already has the design, just mill it, and send it back to you for cementation. So basically, you can finalize a case in 2-3 days, not more. So chairside printer, it's really highly recommended. The one we use in the lab is SheraPrint 30. We have both of them. We have SheraPrint and we have a Siga too. Siga we use for dental office downstairs, and SheraPrint we use it for the lab. It's highly accurate. Okay, so this is the printer. What it amazed me every time is the speed of the printer. We can print a lot of things very fast, and of course very accurate. Compared to the milling machines, I would definitely go for a printer, and I'm waiting for the new printers that will print zirconia and ceramics, and we can quit milling machines completely, because milling machines have limitations. With printing, you have zero limitation. Basically, if you have super sharp edges, you can have a perfect fit 100%. So that's why I love to use the printer. We are using usually 2-stage mock-ups for every single patient. So we get the face scan and intraoral scan for our dentists. We work only with dentists from outside Romania. I don't work with dentists from Romania. And my dentists usually are from Switzerland, Holland, Belgium, Germany, Austria, Hong Kong, and so on in the United States. And the way we work with them is like this. They send us the face scan, intraoral scan. We send them the motivational mock-up printed. So basically, either they have the chairside printer and they can print it themselves after we send them the file, or we print these veneers and send to them so they can try them in the mouth. Basically, they don't prep the patient, and they just put the veneers one by one in the mouth, and the patient can visualize how it looks very fast and admit to go for the next step, to approve to go to the next step to do the preps. Now, when we want to do the preps, what we do? We just print a full model like this, and then the dentist will do a silicone key, classic silicone key, so he can do prep through the mock-up. This kind of mock-up he can use as a surgical guide for the gums, or a prep through guide for prepping for the veneers. What else? This is how it looks in the mouth, and this is how it looks on the model. So basically, they are very, very accurate. I will try to see if I can find the models. Just 1 second. You can use also Exoplan to plan all your implant cases. We are using it. Recently, we started using it, and it supports over 250 implant systems, which is really great. Make sure that when you are doing or switching to an implant system, make sure that they have both libraries for lab. So basically, a library for design, CAD design, and the other library for the models, yeah? Because every implant needs to have both libraries. Otherwise, don't use that. It will not be able to use it in full digital workflow. But basically, the big brands, they all have both libraries. Chairside CAD software, where you can design by yourself the crowns, veneers, inlays, onlays, and so on. So you can print them out, try them in, or you can use even the final restoration materials and do chairside dentistry, which is highly recommended. To use this program Mill1 from Ivoclar, I have it, I'm using it. We did a live patient course with it. I did 3 cases already with it, and I'm super happy. It works smooth and really, really precise. It's a 5-axis milling machine. It's very small and compact. You can see it in my office in the back. Oh, you already saw it in the beginning. What is very nice about it is that you can mill Empress, you can mill Emax, and these are the materials that I really love to use. Most of the time I'm using Empress CAD. And you can control this machine from your phone or from your tablet. And it's very, very easy and user-friendly machine. So I'm highly recommending it. Also for glaze, if you want to do glazing in your dental office, you just need a simple furnace like this one from Ivoclar, which is created only for glazing. and you will have really great results. Milling machines, depending on the size of the lab you are owning, you can go for the bigger one, PM7, which is for the big, large production labs, or you can go for PM3, PM5 for smaller, medium labs, and so on. I highly recommend Zircad Prime, which is amazing cornea from many different aspects. First one is that the first layer, the lower layer, it's very strong zirconia, 1,200 megapascals, and all the way has a ledge where it goes to 680 megapascals, which is really great. Or SageMax zirconia. SageMax zirconia is the brand from USA, which is also owned by Ivoclar, and this is a natural result with the full contour zirconia from SageMax. You see the transition layers, you see the texture, you see everything. It looks unbelievable, very, very natural. So that's why I use this one a lot. You can also sinter your crowns in your lab or in your dental office with super high speed. This is the furnace that can give you a zirconia crown in less than 1.5 hours. And basically you can cement it right away, same day with your patient. Now let's go through some cases, and I want to show you these cases from the planning perspective. So some of them are finalized, some not, but I want to show you how you can create predictable dentistry and how you can make sure that full digital workflow, it's working for you very well, 100% predictable. This is an initial case that a guy came, he has very small teeth and very big spaces between them, and he said, okay, let's do it. We did the face scanning for the patient, we did the intraoral scanning, and this is what you see here. This is the one that is responsible for transferring the position of the maxilla from the real patient to the virtual patient. Yeah, I told you I work only with virtual patients. Here we printed the mock-up for him. We can print individually or we can print it monoblock. And that's the outcome with the mock-up just for trying. The patient was more than happy with it. Then we went to the prep stage where a dentist do the prep. And then you can see some intraoral shots that we use the soft boxes, the studio lights. And we have the intraoral scans to document the case, just to have everything step by step. We have the design. On the right side, you see the transparent design, so you can see how short his teeth were and what we designed on top of them. We milled Empress veneers for him, and the final pictures after coronavirus is dead. Then we expect the patient to come back. This is another case that I really like a lot, and this is a teacher from school around my house here. She came, she wanted to have a new smile. I will skip the video because you have it on YouTube, so we don't waste time with that. And that's her initial situation on the left side and the right side after transferring to virtual articulator. She had very old crowns and bridges and different gum levels. She was really not happy with that smile. Nobody is actually. And we designed this for her, and then we printed a full model like this, and we created the silicone key, and we did a classic mock-up, and we used that mock-up also as a surgical guide. Here you can see the outcome with the mock-up. And she said, yes, we want to go for this and blah, blah. And now we are waiting for the final case to be done. This is my favorite case actually that you see here. This is the initial situation of this young lady. She's only 27 years old, mother of 3 kids already. And she said she would like to do something about her smile, about her looks. I said, it's nothing wrong with your smile. It looks actually very nice. I would not even touch it. But she said, no, I would like to have some small chips, some small veneers and blah, blah. Okay, let's do it. The challenge for this case was to create 6 prepless veneers. Only 6. Usually I do 8 or 10. Because of the buccal corridor, I want to make sure that everything is full smile, it looks good, we don't have the dark buccal corridor and so on. And the challenge was to create only 6 and to make these veneers disappear in the mouth so you don't see them. And for this, we did the classic 4 face scans. So we have 1, 2, 3, and 4. And the scan face, the scan body mouth, this one. Yeah, we scan it. And then here you have video number 1, intraoral impression. Video number 2, virtual patient with a face scan and intraoral scan integration into exocad. Video number 3, new design. Not only aesthetic, because in the video number 4, we make sure it's functional. Yeah, we measure the Bennett angle. Using this scan body mouth, we can measure the Bennett angle in exocad, and we can program the virtual articulator to have exactly the patient values. Now, to make sure that you understand how we transfer the intraoral impression into the face scan, exactly in the same position, you can watch the video on the left side. So on the left side, we are going to use the negative. When we are scanning the scan body mouth, we are scanning the vestibular part and the oral part, this one here. So basically, when we rotate the impression backwards, we are going to get from negative to positive, like you see in the picture right now on the left side. And we are going to find multiple similar points, yeah, from intraoral impression to the silicon index. And we are going to do meshing. So we are going to overlay, and we make sure that that's 100% accurate. As you can see, the intraoral impression went directly into scan body right now. Step 2, video on the right side. You can watch on the right side now. We are transferring what we got on the left side, we are transferring everything into the face scan. And that's how we are getting the intraoral impression into the face scan, and we are getting for the first time our virtual patient. If you are interested in these steps and how to do it, we have tutorial step-by-step. It's a FDW laboratory course online, so you can see it on dentalpromaster.com, and you can check it over there. Now, for this case, we printed the veneers again, and that's how they look in the mouth. So 6 veneers in the anterior area, some shots, head shots, very fast ones. We show her on the screen how she looks like, and she said, yes, we go for it. Now remember, the dentist sent this patient to me just to see it, not to do anything, just to see it if it's possible to do veneers. What I did the face scan, intraoral scan. I printed this model with help of Shera team. Shera team, they are absolutely amazing guys. And they printed for me this smoky white model, and they removed the printed dies out, and they duplicated the dies with refractory material specially done for printed models, and they placed the refractory dies into the model. And what I did, I just did the refractory veneers. So everything was digital till the end, almost. In the end, what I did, I finalized the case with 0.1 veneers in the cervical area, 0.1 millimeter thickness in the cervical, 0.3 in the thickest part. And basically, this technique allowed me to create invisible veneers in the mouth of the patient. And while I was doing photos for this case, I dropped the veneers on the floor and they broke. And here you can see the broken veneers on the printed dies, how accurate they fit on. So basically, I was amazed by the precision and the accuracy. Imagine digital impression, digital model, and then placed on the model, they fit perfect, and placed in the mouth, they look absolutely amazing. No problem with the contact points, no problem with precision, very well adapted in the cervical area. This is just with the Trying gel in the mouth when I was doing these photos, and this is after they were cemented, 3 days after they were cemented. So it looks really, really great, I guess. And of course, this article became pretty famous. And I had publication over here. I don't know where it is. I was playing with the magazine, so I'm not sure. If you leave me your emails, send your emails on info@dentalpromaster.com. I will send you this article. Or when you buy the online course, you can actually see the full list of articles, and you can get some projects to run on your phone, so you can check how extracurrent web view works. Here you can see the findings with this lady and how the veneer look in the mouth. Only 6 veneers, not 10, not 8, only 6. And imagine how surprised the dentist was when I told him, can you please come and cement some veneers? I just finished. And he said, but I didn't send you any case. And I said, okay. This is another case I was doing for Swedish Academy of Cosmetic Dentistry. We had a hands-on live course in Stockholm in Sweden. And this was the patient. Again, 4 face scans. Sorry, go back. 4 face scans and 1 scan by the mouth. Intraoral impression with Medit i500. And again, the same technique. Printed model, printed dies removed and replaced with refractory. Printed mock-up for the patient. So again, we went from before to after like this. And then he said, okay, let's go finalize the case. In this case, 10 veneers, again, prepless. So the dentist didn't want to touch at all the teeth. We just wanted to go on natural teeth. And I sent the case, and this is the final outcome. Again, I was using, like in the same case, only 1 powder. So I was layering only with 1 powder. That's Opal Effect 1 from Ivoclar. Yeah, I was using Style Ceramic from Ivoclar, which is normally ceramic for metal ceramic. Yeah, and that's the final outcome. Now here we have another case, which is very nice. We did it with live patient course. We have in our training center every year 1 limited course here, 3 days with Dr. Jan Kurz-Hoffmann. It's only 1 time per year. It's only for 12 people. Usually they come from all over the world. We had participants from Brazil, from Hong Kong, from USA, and many different countries from Europe. We had also from UK 1 person at least. And this is one of the first courses we did with him. So the initial situation, scan with Medit i500, pictures with studio lights, face scan for the patient, printed veneers. So I'm following my protocol step by step for every single case. This is with the printed veneers in the mouth. And then this is the classic mock-up on a full printed model, because this was not the motivation. This was the one that we used as a surgical guide. We wanted to do the surgery for the gums. And of course, to do the prep through technique for prepping. And this is the final Empress restoration in the mouth of the patient. Yeah. And these are the final pictures with these veneers after they were cemented. Here, I didn't touch the veneers. The texture came directly from the milling machine. We just glazed them and stained them, and that's all. Yeah. Why Empress? Because it's very simple. If we are doing something wrong in the functional part, the veneers will break, so we can see there is a mistake. We always have the file. We can remill it and fix the problem and then cement it back again. So that's why Empress is my favorite ever material to use in the mouth of the patient. If we put zirconia or Emax, they are strong enough to destroy your TMJ and to make more damage than good. So I would really appreciate, and I would really stay close to Empress. All on 6. Okay, you saw the veneers, you saw the crowns. What about implants? Here we planned the case with a very great ortho dentist from our city, and he's having a very nice office where he's also doing the planning for the implants. He's specialized for this in more than 12 years. And he did for us the surgical guide. Then I took myself the impression from the patient. The dentist came here, he removed the healing abutments, he put the scan bodies, and then I scanned the patient. We printed the model with the silicone, flexible silicone resin, the red one for the gums. And of course, we used the special analog implants for the printed model. Also, at that time, we didn't have the digital verification jig, and we had to create a printed verification jig to check if our digital impression is accurate or not. And of course, it was accurate. 1 year ago, with Meditite 500, we milled the provisionals, and we created this virtual extraction on the model. So we create the place for papillas, and that's how you can finalize. You can use metal with zirconia, you can use pectin with Emax, you can use full contour zirconia like on the right side. So many different options to finalize this case. That's how our virtual patient looks like with the virtual extractions that we did. Yeah, we kept the teeth on the arch so we can have a better scanning at that time. And everything that you can leave it there, take the scan, and then remove it virtually into your CAD software. As you can see, the patient in this case has the soft tissue, hard tissue, and the face. All the elements we need for such a complex case. The same thing we do for full mouth rehabs when we have to increase the vertical dimension of occlusion. As you can see in the following one, here, where we use the splint technique for the patient between 3 to 5 months to see if everything is okay with the TMJ. We increase the vertical dimension, and when everything was fine, we send this patient with this particular splint to the CBCT, and then we used the CBCT to get the bite, because we used and we overlaid actually the intraoral impression onto the CBCT. And that's how we get an accurate bite without struggling with the intraoral scanner to get increased vertical dimension. What is also interesting about this technique is that you can have the full CBCT of the patient, and you can check that you don't have the translation of the condyles. Yeah, it's very important that you don't destroy the TMJ. So basically, this is a very safe technique to get your vertical dimension increased a lot, let's say, without doing the translation of the condyles. You can watch the limits. Here we do the transfer of the hard tissue and soft tissue, of the CBCT and the intraoral impression into your face scan. So we use this scan body as a transfer tool, actually the digital face bow. And we get our full virtual patient exactly like this. Yeah, so we have everything in one place, and then we are ready to design. We can create the design for the patient, as you can see here. And on the right side, we send for approval to the dentist. On exocad WebView, we send him the project. So who's buying the course, they can go online and they will get 4 or 5 cases projects, so you can download it on your phone and you can see how exocad WebView works on your phone. And if you find a technician, or you want your technician to be able to provide this kind of cases, you can send him to us for trainings, and we can train you as a dentist or your technicians to work full digital workflow. Then we did the classic mockup. We checked that everything is okay. With classic mockup, we use it also as a surgery guide because he needed a lot of gum corrections, and then still waiting for the finalize the case. This is the last case. We did a live patient course here a few weeks ago, just before coronavirus started. It was the last course before we closed. This is the initial situation of the patient. In this case, we did palatal veneers with composite using the Enrique Diaz-Guzman technique. And we used tabletops of composite, so we can increase the bite because it was a deep bite. How we did this, we designed everything into exocad, and we printed the models. We created the silicone keys, the transparent silicone keys, and we do the injectable flowable technique for palatal veneers, for the anterior upper 6 anteriors, and for the tabletops on the posteriors. And then, you can see here documented case with the initial situation. We have the 4 face scans and the scan body mouth. Printed veneers, again, in this case, 8 veneers. And this is the very model that you saw here in front of me. I just keep it for my lectures. And that's the pictures with it. And here you can check the mock-up in the mouth and how it looks like. And then before, after, and after with the printed veneers in the mouth. This is what we show to the patient, and then day 2 we went for prepping the veneers, and day 3 we finalized the veneers. Of course, after the coronavirus is done, I will come with the final pictures in this case. Here you can see our website from our laboratory, and we were the first lab in the world certified slow dentistry by Miguel Stanley and his team. And we demonstrated that full digital workflow, it's a safe dentistry, predictable dentistry, and it has everything to do with slow dentistry. Slow dentistry means safe dentistry, means that we take care of our patients with the best possible workflows. And full digital workflow was the first to be certified by slow dentistry. Here you can find some of the QR codes from my courses. You can find my Facebook name and my Instagram name. Actually, I'm using my name, and you can follow me on Instagram and on Facebook. You can see all the news about myself and new projects and new things that come every week following me over there.